Coffee, 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 coffee.
Yum, yum, yum.
With absolutely no Kahlua or Baileys in it. Nope.
No, none. Just a little weed.
Neither of those things.
But you can hide your weed. All right, here we go. It begins in 3, 2, 1.
You and me couldn't look that way on pig's knuckles with cabbage and chocolate molded.
I'm living in a cuckoo clock.
The morning stream. They're coming to get you, Barbara. There's one of them now.
Good morning to what the music says is TMS. It's the morning stream for Thursday, November 14th, 2024. Got a couple of fours in there today. That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like
some tasty, tangy fours.
Yeah, I like a nice four. Don't you? Nice little four in there. Speaking of which,
yeah,
it's Brian, by the way, and I'm Scott. Forgot to say
that.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah.
In case people don't know our names, I mean, you know,
I was almost gonna have to look at one of my business cards or the label on my fax machine.
I had sent you a message the other day saying, "How's T-Mobile for you today?" And you said, "Fine, no issues." I forgot to report on this. So we had a 2.5 hour outage, all T-Mobile and all Mint Mobile, because Mint Mobile backpacks on top of T-Mobile. Mm-hmm. And also my new ISP is T-Mobile based, so I had to revert to the backup one, which is why you have a backup. Anyway, 2.5 hours down, and it was just Utah and a little piece of Texas, and we still don't know why. They just apologized for the outage. We don't know what happened there. Somebody farted on the wrong cable, bumped into a switch. I don't know, but
I hope it's not a fart on a cable causes this kind of problem situation. But
I know, because you're always farting on your ISP every morning.
I'm always farting. Like I fart on cables. I'm farting on a cable right now.
Right. This is what we do in the morning. You guys wonder how we fuel the show?
We do what we do.
So we do it.
Fart on cables.
That's right. Congratulations to the Onion. Go search as to why. We think something really great happened yesterday with the Onion, and
that's awesome.
We'll let you learn it for yourselves. Hey, I got a fun audio game for Brian today.
Cool. I'm in.
Yeah, not music related, because they shut us down on YouTube when we do that. We have to save that for our Fridays.
You can't do that. Yeah, exactly.
But I got to thinking the other day, like, I think if I was going to do this with Tempest, you would win, and it would be dumb because you just know too much about Tempest. So I thought, well, what's another game that Brian would have played back in the day when we were kids that he would have at least some strong memory pullback based on the audio, but may not be able to ace it right out of the gate. Yeah. And the answer is, we're going to play some Galaga sounds.
I love it.
And you're going to tell me what those sounds correspond to, meaning
what's happening in the game when I hear that sound.
Exactly, right?
Okay.
And Galaga's a big one. Galaga's one that was just in our lives. It was in our face. You couldn't help it. You couldn't avoid it.
Totally was. Yes.
Everywhere you went.
Like the Godfather 2 to the Galaxian of Godfather.
That's right. That's really
Godfather of Galaxian.
That's a great way of looking at it. Exactly.
It is the superior sequel.
Although, yeah, I mean, it's almost hard to even think of Galaxian in the same category anymore, right?
Yeah.
It's so much better. Galaga just ruined Galaxian. Although Kamikaze 3, this weird knockoff bootleg thing my dad got in Japan and brought home and put in an arcade machine, the one's out in my garage, is basically a hacked version of Galaxian. That's just everything's on turbo. You start and immediately like 8 ships come at you and start swerving around.
Oh my god!
Oh, it's awesome!
Wow,
it's so good.
Jeez.
Anyway, there's video on that somewhere. Let's go ahead and get started, Brian, with your first question. Right. What is this sound when you play Galaga?
That is that an extra life?
You're close. That is destroying the fighter that they took.
That right, and then it adds it doesn't even give you an extra ship. It takes one of your existing ships that you lost and sticks it onto your ship.
Yeah,
right?
So I'm going to give you that one, and also that one. That is my least favorite thing about Galaga. I don't like the risk-reward decision that is. Let him take a ship and then get it back to double fire.
Sacrifice one of your lives to potentially have a double shot, a double shot, but makes your overall target wider too.
It does, but then. Yeah, so they come swinging down and nick it, and then you're like, well, great, I had that for 5 seconds. Like, I hate that whole thing to the point that I will single ship the entire run of that game. And I do pretty good in that game, but I Hate
I'm
it.
always tempted though. Like I see the purple bug coming down with his two little friends, with his little entourage.
Yep.
And well, that might be one of the sounds.
It
actually,
might
so I
be.
should hold off.
It might be. Let's find out. Here's okay. How about this one? This is a tricky one.
Oh, that is the sound that one of the bees make when they're about to spin in a circle and come back from. Oh no. Can you play it again?
It's a tricky
That's
one.
just the sound from one of the bees about to go down, come at you in formation.
Yes, and it stops there for some reason. There's no these aren't cut short. These are the full. That's the full sound
That's
of him
the full sound.
taking off and going down. So good job, you did it. All right, now this one. Well, I'll play it. What do you think that is?
Oh shoot.
I'll give you a hint. You kind of said it earlier.
But that's not the sound. That's not the tractor beam's sound. Is that okay? Is that when it takes it?
Nope.
Oh,
You said the word earlier, but you quickly moved away from the word. Let's say that.
yeah. Okay. Let me play it one more time then. That's an extra life.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well
that's an
done
extra
indeed.
life. Okay.
I'll give you. I don't have the dings here. Yeah, that's all right. All right, this one. Pretty obvious.
I think that's when you blow up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess.
Yeah. Well done. You've lost your ship. Nicely done. Okay.
Yep.
How about this one?
Oh, that is.
It's got a very Pac-Man quality to it.
Yes. What is that? Oh my gosh. That is.
And imagine
That's,
that in sequence, like a bunch of them.
Yes. Yeah, that is the noise that the big fat bugs make when they come on screen.
Close. It's when the big fat bugs die.
When they die, okay. Because I'm hitting. That's right. Because I'm hitting the, you know, on the rapid fire when they're coming down in the challenge level. Okay.
Yeah, and you can hear it like over and over because if you're good, if you're good, you're like nailing them as they're coming down. So.
Yes, as they come down.
All right, challenge stages. You know how they work. They're big strings of the things and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what this is. Oh, that's a hint, so you know what sequence this is from. But what part of challenges is this?
This is always bothered me that it goes from like a nice 4/4 song to the very end of
Yeah,
like
it's a little weird.
Oh, we're out of time.
Yeah.
That's when it's giving you your report on the percentages and everything, how you did.
You're very close. It is the challenge stage beginning, so the start of the stage.
Oh, beginning. Okay, so it's not the end; it's the beginning.
Yeah,
okay.
You're very close though. All right, and these are all over the place. I'm not doing these any kind of like order, or else it would give it away.
Yeah, it would be
So-
obvious. It'd be like you just sequence.
So how about this one?
That's game over.
Close. You're so close. I'll let you needle
Is
down.
that's enter your initials.
Very good. Very well done.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. So you're at the end going ASS he, and then going to another game.
Right. Right.
All right. Let's try this one.
Oh, that's tractor beam.
Yep. Capture in the tractor beam. Well done. Perfectly done.
I see Amy is like, I've got like 5 messages from Amy in Discord. I haven't opened them yet, but I'm guessing she's playing along because this is her game.
Oh, that's right. She loves
It's her
Galaga.
jam.
That's
Yeah,
right. It's like having Cheesy G talk about Miss Pac-Man.
Right.
She's so good at that. All right. Here's this one.
Oh, what is that? That's another.
It goes along
That's
with one
another-
of these.
Yeah, it's another creature dying. Is that the? Is that when you turn one of the yellow gray bugs blue?
That is correct. That's like basically a kill, but it's a conversion kill, I guess.
Yes, right.
I don't know how
you're
to
taking
describe
down one level.
Yeah. Now this. So you did this one earlier. All right.
Yep.
So what is this?
That's the bug taking your ship back up to its place up at the top.
And
of
your
the
ship
screen.
is going like spinning, right? If I remember right.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it spins in the tractor beam, but it's just sitting vertically above the bug when it goes back.
Oh, that's right.
top.
That's right.
Oh, did I have that backwards? Is that the sound of the tractor beam, or is that?
Oh, well, if you do, I do, because I thought it was the other way too. So if Hold on. All right, that I have as tractor beam, and this is I have as capture. I may have them backwards.
I think those were backwards.
Okay,
I think
flipped them.
Now that I hear that one, that's the tractor beam, and the other one is the I'm taking your ship back up to the top.
Yeah, I think I screwed those up. All right, how about this one?
Oh. No, that's the sound of it taking your ship back up to the top. You get that music of like, you just lost your ship. You just lost your ship.
I never thought of it as a taunting thing. Like
it's a taunting thing. So then, okay. So one of those first two sounds, I stick with the one that I now say is the tractor beam. I think the other one is it coming down about to do the tractor beam, maybe.
Okay, so this one, that's actual tractor beam.
I still say that's still tractor beam. Yes, that's
this one. That's capturing it.
That's
right?
capturing. Okay, right. And then that other thing is it's now leaving with your ship.
And now it's taken off with the music. Okay. Yeah, I think you have it right, and also I think I had it right, but I termed these two weird, so that's all it is. Mm-hmm. All right, how about this one?
That's
annoying thing.
That's different than the one you played before because that's the beginning of a stage.
It is. So this one, that's the beginning of a challenge stage.
Okay.
Very subtle.
Very subtle. Yeah, one of them's a little more echoey, a little more reverb. Okay.
Yeah. Any idea on that one? What do you think that one is?
Oh, that's just the start of a regular stage.
Well done. Start of your game.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Easy one.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Total throwaway. All right. How about this one?
That's one of the bugs coming down from formation and coming down at you.
Yep.
Do I have to know which one?
No, you're all good.
Good.
Because the very first
I think a lot of them make those sounds.
Yeah, the very first fly down, that's the sound it'll make, and prior to that, it's just that thing. Yeah. Oh, that sound is so cool. Freaking! I didn't capture that one because it was hard to do it without other sounds in there. But
yeah. Oh wow, good job capturing these though, because like, you hear that it's rare to hear just one of those without like four of them. I guess once you've cleared the board, you got the one coming down at you.
Yeah, it was easier to do. I did it with my with an emulator, so I could so I wouldn't be shooting while a thing was happening. But I died a lot. It was a pain in the ass. I'll just say that. I probably could have gone to YouTube and done this faster.
Appreciate your sacrifice.
Never forget. All right, how about this one? Oh, I guess I did capture this.
Yeah, that's just the general. We're floating.
I forgot
with nothing coming at you. That is just the ship's information kind of wafting back and forth. On the screen,
which was always a little indicative of like they're bugs, which is the idea. They're like space bugs.
Yeah.
I was kind of like that. All right, so I did capture that. I thought I didn't. All right, how about this one? Well, this is easy.
That's you're shooting your gun.
Yep.
You are shooting
your ship or your ship shooting. Okay, how about this one?
That's an extra life.
Close.
Oh, really?
Yes. Okay. Close in that because you already got extra life earlier. This is extra life.
Oh, did I already get extra life? Is that putting in a quarter? Oh, right. That's okay. This is putting in a quarter?
Very good. That is absolutely that. That's what you would hear before you hear anything else, I suppose.
God,
you put your money in.
It's funny how similar those are. One gets you 3 lives. The other one just gets you 1.
Yeah. The other one just gets you going or gets you paid. It gets them paid is what it does. All right, here's the final one, Brian. Let's see if you can guess this one. I think this one's a little tricky.
That is telling you the number stage that you're on. So that's the beginning of the 4th stage.
You are not only correct, but dead correct. Although they call them flags.
Flags, okay.
And they show up like little flags, but that is exactly what they are. I don't think you got more than 1 wrong in this. 1 or 2. I didn't keep track. Did anyone keep track? You did really well, is what I'm saying. I thought you were gonna. Cool. I thought you were gonna struggle, but this or Tempest I would have got rocked on. So I didn't.
Tempest would have been a blast. Although, I can't turn the sound down on that thing when it's playing. I'm gonna check really quick and see what. Here we go. Amy says, I'm in a meeting right now, but I can hear bits and pieces from Chuck's office, and those are Galaga sounds. I have no idea what y'all are doing, but I can hear your voices, but I'm hearing the sounds, and it's killing my ADHD. This is a quiz for me, if it is a quiz. Damn it of all days for me not to be in the freaking chat.
Yeah, well done. Stuck in a meeting while we're over here having fun. Just
That's right.
Rub it in, Chuck. I saw him in the chat. Right. Rub it in.
Well, I'm gonna break out the OpenCade and play some Galaga when we're done today.
It puts you in the mood, doesn't it? It's weird.
It really does. Yeah, it totally does.
Had the same exact thing happen to me, and I was like, after I captured it all, I'm like, let's just play a few rounds here. And like, you will not.
Did any of the little handhelds do a reputable job of recreating Galaga? I imagine there's a.
You mean the Ambernick type stuff, or?
Yeah, in other words, like, can I go into my Ambernick and pull up a GBA version of Galaga, and it's pretty good?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, the arcade ones are on there, too. I have, like, a bunch of MAME. Oh,
that's true. Yeah, okay, you can put the MAMEs on there.
Yeah, that's what I played last night on the new little one, was the MAME version. The only downside of that was it's a... Well, that thing's like a 2.8-inch screen, the one I showed you.
Yeah, that brand new one, yeah.
And the game is vertical, and so... you're really, so really small.
It's like looking at a vertical photograph.
Yeah.
On a tiny white
so I wouldn't
screen.
recommend that, but the SP or the RG58 or whatever, the one you have, that would still be plenty of screen space, I think, to do it. But yeah, think that all those play on there. It's really good.
You think that especially if you had like a Steam Deck, you could do something where you turn it sideways and use the thumb.
Oh, I think you can. I think there's I know you can. And what's it called? The stuff that the back end of all of this is. RetroArch, right? Yeah.
RetroArch, yeah.
That'll let you do. You just do settings and have it switch over, so you could totally do that.
That's true, right? It is just running the same software I have on the OpenCade. Fair enough. Okay, easy.
And once again, just a reminder: the Steam Deck really is truly the ultimate retro device. It will play anything, man.
It really is. Yeah.
And you get that big screen. Oh, I haven't redone mine since I got the OLED version. I just have been lazy. I'm gonna do that. I'm doing it today. Today is the day that I'm doing it. All right, Brian. We've done that. Let's move on. Quick text from Joshua from Indiana. Mm-hmm. Indiana. How's the song go? There's a song for Indiana.
Indiana. Gary, Indiana.
It's all about Gary. I forgot. All right.
All about Gary. What is that from? The Music Man? Is that right? Or no?
I don't know.
Guys and Dolls. It's from one of those, I think.
Was he just talking about where he was from?
I think so, yeah.
I don't really know anything about it.
I lumped that one in the same one as, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street. I wish I knew who it was for.
Oh, man. You know more about that.
It is from Music Man, yeah.
Yep, there it is.
Grew up on all that stuff.
I didn't, but I respect it. I just don't know it. Mm-hmm. Anyway, he says, Dear Sudafed and Benadryl. Ooh, we know where this is going.
Nice. I guess he's saying that we make him tired.
Yeah. Well, I guess Sudafed makes you hyper. Benadryl makes you tired. So they cancel each other out and make you normal.
Oh, right. That's right. Sudafed is an upper.
Yeah. Brian, today, Brian's the downer. I'm the upper.
That's right, exactly.
But this can flip any second, all right? So that's how this works with medication. He says, in regards to your discussion with Dan about drug advertising, did you know that the U.S. and New Zealand are the only countries that allow direct-to-consumer advertising of prescription drugs? And then he's got a link to it. Best regards, Joshua. I didn't know that. I had no idea. So are you telling me
either?
If you and I go to London, I'm not going to turn on the TV and they're not going to say, ask your doctor if putting your thumb up your ass is right for you. They're not going to do that?
Exactly, yeah. Right. No, we're not going to hear, Ozempic. Never believe it's not so.
Right. I think that makes sense because, okay, but why do we do that?
Yeah.
And why does New Zealand do that? Like, why New Zealand?
Because as Americans, we are so stupid and paranoid that we need the commercials to tell us what our problems are instead of going to the doctor and finding out for ourselves. We need, I think I have that. I'd like to enjoy playing Frisbee in the park with my son.
Yeah. Like, you're right about us, but what is wrong? What's going on with New Zealand? You always hear how, great they are.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But what are they doing? They're the only other country. We're the only two in existence right now that will advertise direct to the public.
Your doctor, if band meeting is right for you.
I'd take band meeting twice a day. That's fine.
Band meeting.
Put it in my veins.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, thanks, Josh, for the info.
That's good to know.
I had no idea. That's crazy to me. I mean, I assume that if you ask somebody in New Zealand, they would have perhaps a different answer as to why. I don't know.
Yeah. I just wish, Lester Holt should just steer into it and say, coming up after the break, we're going to look at, how this community in Charleston is doing it. But first, 3 ads for pharmaceuticals.
Yeah. Oh, so here's the...
Using songs from the 70s.
Here are the pros and cons, they say, in this study.
Okay.
The cons are, when you advertise direct to the public, it creates more use of more expensive branded medication, which are more often featured in the commercials, rather than knowing that there are generic options that will save them money.
Right, sure.
So that's one downside. Another one would be less interest in non-pharmacological treatments, including lifestyle changes and healthy behaviors. In other words, you show a commercial with an old guy running with a dog, you think you just go do that and you'll be fine. Then finally, inappropriate drug prescription through patients asking for unnecessary drugs that they have seen in advertisements but they don't really need. Conversely, the pro arguments are educating consumers about possible treatment options, about illnesses or diseases they may not be have at the top of their mind. Number 2, increasing engagement and treatment initiation with advertised drugs or their generic counterparts. And thirdly, encouraging medication adherence. I don't know. Those are all a little weak. I think I agree with the other ones.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the second one in there, which is you don't think you've got something until you see an ad that makes you think you've got it. It's like the WebMD thing where I might have that little I do feel a little pain in my elbow every once in a while. I'll bet I need that.
Yeah.
And then you go to the doctor and say, I think I need this, and they either say no, you don't need that, or yes, you do need that. I could use a new swimming pool.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even think about that part. We got a for-pay problem over here that I think New Zealand has nationalized healthcare, I think.
Yeah, so it shouldn't be. There should be no advantage to them for pushing the drugs on you.
I actually don't know that though. Do they have? Maybe they do. I don't know. Yeah. Well, anyway, keep paying for that magic song, Ozempic, and
that's right.
Keep getting what you get out of there.
Keep giving pilots some money.
Yep, there you go. All right, one final note. Jeff has a thought. Jeff Sire, Canadian.
Canada!
Famous Canadian. Oh, do I have that? He sent me a picture of the... we talked about the little cards that will tell you if you've had too much radiation. What were those called?
Oh, yeah.
Shit.
Right. It's like the canary in a coal mine kind of thing, right? Where you're...
What's that called?
I don't know what that's called. Dosimeter?
Dosimeter. Okay. Thank you.
Dosimeter.
That's it. He sent me a picture of a dosimeter. And I meant to show it earlier. I didn't. I will now. Although, you know what? I should
know that because my dad is a physicist who specialized in dosimetry.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's part of his cancer.
Part of his cancer treatment. Yeah, he would. They used like simulators and things to figure out how much radiation they could pinpoint on one spot with this really cool, like rotating, futuristic looking machine, and have 2 beams going across and like really pinpoint where the radiation was concentrated. It's
interesting.
Really cool.
All right, I just crossed out his name and his number so we don't have any problems here. But
good call.
But look at that. So that's the thing, and I guess these 2 black windows will show up almost like a COVID test.
I'm guessing it's that white circle would turn red if you've got, because that looks like it's an inset. Everything else.
Oh, I see it here. Let me.
Maybe that black circle too. So the black circle is your control, maybe, and when that white circle turns black, it tells you that you've got too much radiation.
Radiation.
Too much radiation.
Yeah, one of these will probably light up. It's like a COVID or a P test or something, kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
The stuff down here, I don't know what these are. It's weird.
Probably little storage capsules of some liquid or something.
It's where you keep your weed.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's like an emergency, like anti-radiation.
Oh, maybe. I was thinking it's just something that like provides a constant source of moisture to the pad, or that wouldn't make sense because that thing would dry out so damn quick. I don't know. It looks like it's storing something, and it doesn't look like it's something you can get access to.
Yeah, that's true. And Jeff, if you're listening, I know he's listening because he listens, but I don't think he sees the video. I crossed out all your info. There was nothing there identifying you, just in case you're worried. Thank you for that.
All of your info wars.
Yeah. Congratulations once again to the Onion.
Info wars.
The Frogs Gay. Real quick, Jeff.
Make sure to buy my supplements. I gotta go online, buy my supplements. They're made from cat hair and bones, ground up bones.
Is he gonna have any of that now? I guess he can go do whatever he wants. He says start over. I don't know how it works.
Yeah,
for him.
who knows?
It's only good news I've had in weeks. Jeff Sire said this. I forgot to read his actual email. He says, Scott and Brian says, I was listening to the cool remix of Scott's looped voice, and I thought of a possible topic for you guys. TMS has been running for well over 10 years. That's true. It has. The whole time you have been using voice chat. Yes, that's true. Brian lives in Denver. I live here in Salt Lake City. Why has it not gotten better? It seems to have actually gotten worse in some ways. Maybe it's just me, but this seems weird. Yeah. Well, I'm going to go ahead and argue that it hasn't gotten worse outside of occasional ISP issues.
Yeah.
The quality of the audio is pretty good.
It's pretty good, but
it's not perfect.
Here's the thought. You know, when you're just starting out and you're in Discord and like, oh, look, we have voice chat, you know, a small percentage of your user base is taking up that server bandwidth to use it. And then the more and more people start like, ooh, we can use this for raid chat, or we can use this to record a show, or we can use this to do live streaming or whatever, then the usage of it might start to push the boundaries of the bandwidth that they have allocated to it.
Sure.
So there could be some of that, but it certainly hasn't gotten better.
Definitely not gotten better.
The same.
Yeah, if anything, it's stayed consistent. The one place it did get better is when you use video, at least one-on-one. The audio codec doesn't take as big a hit as it used to. It used to take a major hit when you do video. It doesn't really do that now, so that's nice. But I still, every once in a while, I'm like, all right, let's see what everyone else is doing, and I always compare. And at least as of November 14th, 2024, Discord, I still say, has the best audio codec. I've tried going back to Skype. It's worthless. They don't update it. It's crap.
Least laggy for the two of us, which is so important because we feed off of each other's energies and jokes and stuff like that, and having lag and a constant like, you're talking. Okay. Oh, nope, you're talking.
It's the worst. It can be the worst, especially for
maddening.
For a show like
listen
this.
To and maddening to host.
Exactly. Then I tried Zoom again just to see how they were doing. They still don't give a way to adjust volume, and it still sounds like shit. So I don't use them. I'm just using what's best right now.
How is it possible? How is it possible they don't have a way to do volume levels yet? It seems so like dumb. The most, here's what you need to start.
Yeah.
Like you build a house, well, we have to put a door in the front.
Yep. No, it's rudimentary. Rudimentary, they should have it. It should be built in from day one. They've never had it. They still don't have it. It's so stupid. And I understand that they have use cases that are mostly like, hey, there are 300 people in a class. People have to raise their hand to speak. You're not worried about quality of audio. But you still got to worry about volume of audio. You still got to worry about, can I hear Sally Jane over in Indiana we can barely hear you. Can you turn up your shit? So now she's got to go fiddle with her settings instead of me just being able to drag it. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that stuff sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you guys know of a better way, I'm happy to hear it. Jury thinks I should use, what's it called? Something Street. It's kind of... what's the one that Tom uses? One, I forgot the name of it.
Doesn't he use Microsoft Teams anymore, or Microsoft?
No, it's called
Spaces or something.
Let me pull up Chrome because that's where I run it.
Wing Street. Tom DeCosta says, "Isn't that the place that sells wings?"
It's definitely not that. And it's not StreamYard is what Tom uses.
Oh, Tom uses StreamYard.
Yeah,
right.
Jury uses something kind of like it, and so far it actually seems pretty good, but it's also a little expensive. I don't know. I may dabble, but I'm just saying, we're always on the look, Jeff. We don't just settle, okay?
No. If we can find a better way to sound to you, then by golly, we're going to do it.
We're going to do it.
And we're going to make you guys pay for it.
That's right. We're making Canada pay for it. We're going to build a better system and make Canada pay for it.
Exactly.
All right. Well, let's get to some news. It's time to share with the world what's going on. And thankfully, it's the kind of news you guys aren't sick of. So
yay.
Let's get into it here. Where's the thing? I lost it. There we go. It's time for the news brought to you by
Coverville. Do you like Aladdin? Yeah. Do you like Evita?
Ooh.
Yeah. Do you like Evita? Do you like Jesus Christ Superstar? Do you like that?
Yes.
Then you like Tim Rice. Tim Rice turning 80 years old, and in addition to things like Aladdin, Evita, Jesus Christ Superstar, he also wrote Chess with the ABBA guys. So One Night in Bangkok, written by Tim Rice. He even wrote one of the James Bond themes, and I'm not going to tell you which one. You're just going to have to listen, unless you just Google it right now. But you're not going to do that. You're going to wait and listen to Coverville at noon today, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, twitch.tv/Coverville. Going to be playing my Math Destruction deck. It's a play on Mass Destruction.
Oh,
and but it uses the new card. What is the new card? It uses one of the new cards, basically. Oh, here it is. It uses Frigga and Toxin.
So what does that do?
I'm sorry, no, just Frigga.
What's the math part? Just like a bunch of duplicate?
I do the math like to figure out, as I'm dropping cards, which one is the one that I want to use Frigga on, because Frigga adds a copy of the last card you played to your hand. So if I can, and I've gotten Death down to where she costs 0 to play, then I'll play Death, and then I'll play Frigga and get another copy of Frigga, and then play that one there too.
I love the name Frigga.
Frigga.
That's great.
It's Thor's mom.
It sure is. Played by a lady from
Renee
Gladiator.
Russo.
Isn't it Gladiator lady? No, not her.
Oh, no. Renee Russo was
Who
Thor's mom.
Who am I thinking of? Why am I mixing those two up?
You're thinking of the lady from Gladiator who's in Gladiator 2, the only person.
Right? Oh, you know what? I'm thinking that's Wonder Woman's mom. That's what I'm doing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I knew there was some superhero connection, just wrong franchise.
Connie Nielsen.
That's her. She's great.
Yes, she is great.
That is a woman she'll be 90 and be attractive. I don't know what's going on with her.
Yeah.
Beautiful lady.
She's very, very attractive. And I'm watching, it's funny, I told you I would do it, so I guess it's not a surprise. I'm watching Gladiator right now, about half an hour at a time as I go to sleep. So it'll take me a week to watch it, but I'm watching it in preparation for Gladiator 2.
Nice. Tina not watching the first one with you, or
no?
Not into it.
She doesn't care. She doesn't care.
Are you seeing? Did you see?
Still trying to get over the fact that I didn't get Wicked tickets for opening night instead of Gladiator 2 tickets. Anytime something comes on for Wicked, she just folds her arms and looks at me like, "We're seeing it opening weekend, Tina. We're seeing it on Sunday. Yeah. We're just not seeing it on Thursday night.
It'll all be fine.
It'll be fine. We'll see both movies that weekend."
Was that this weekend or next weekend?
It's next weekend.
Okay.
It's a week from both movies come out 1 week from today.
Are you to the part where he yells, "Are you not entertained"? Have you gotten that far?
Already past that.
Okay.
Yeah, that happens a lot earlier in the movie than I was remembering. There's so much of this movie I don't remember.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad, because I only saw it the one time in the theaters back in 90 whatever.
Oh, I love that movie so much.
What year did it come out, Scott? Quick.
2000, I believe. 2000.
2000, okay.
I think. Let's confirm that I am not smoking crack here. Gladiator.
Probably not smoking the crack.
Let's see. Gladiator. 2000 film by Ridley Scott. Ding!
Well done. See, there you go.
I'm pretty good with my ears. I'm pretty excited about that new one. So
I am too. Yeah.
You're going to have to...
lives up. I like the, I hear that Pedro Pascal guy's pretty good.
People
He's
like him.
good at stuff.
Yeah, they like him. I hear Denzel Washington is chewing at the place apart in his role. He is just
really? Oh, cool. That's
so excited to see what he does.
He let slip that there will be a Black Panther 3, no surprise there, but that Coogler is writing a part for him.
Ooh. What do you think it is with your knowledge of Wakanda?
Oh, see, that I don't know. Because my extent of all of like the side characters of like Oyoke and M'Baku and all that got covered in the first movie. So I don't know any of the other... if it's going to be another Wakandan character, they reached the extent of my Black Panther knowledge with the first movie.
Gotcha. Well, I'm super curious about that, because I don't know about you guys. I've liked Denzel since day one, since St. Elsewhere, but
absolutely, yeah.
There's something about his older career that is really intriguing, and I can't put my finger on it. There's kind of a wild, an unexpected quality to it. I don't know what it is. But I love it.
Was the movie where he's the pilot Flight? Is that the one where he's a pilot had something to drink before a shift he was not expecting that he called onto, and he still flew, and
right,
causes all these problems.
Not the one that
I think that's called Flight.
Is it Flight? It's Zemeckis movie, right? Or no. I'm thinking of the one where, or maybe it is a Zemeckis movie.
Zemeckis was the Hanks one about Sully, wasn't it? Or
maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, but people are confirming it as Flight.
Okay, I don't think I've seen.
Which is funny because flight can also mean a range of drinks, like a flight of beers.
Oh, I had never heard that. It's like a murder of crows, but a flight of beers. I like that.
Yeah, but more specifically, sample sizes. So I'd like to try all of your IPAs. Yeah. Great, we'll bring you a flight, and there'll be little 8 to 10 ounce pours.
Gotcha.
Of all of their IPAs, and you just try each of them.
Oh, I knew I wasn't going crazy. That's also Zemeckis.
A flight of whiskeys.
That's Zemeckis also. He did both those movies.
It also is Zemeckis. And Sully was Zemeckis too?
Yeah. They were like, hey,
wow,
I want to do 2 of these in a row. I want to make 2 flight movies. Can we do it? And everyone said, yes, Robert Zemeckis, you can do anything you want.
Oh, no. Sully was Eastwood.
Oh, I mixed those up so bad.
Yeah, I did too. I thought when you said Zemeckis, I thought that was the one.
I've completely screwed that up.
Yeah.
But I can guess on Flight's year. 2013. Let me look it up. I was off a year, 2012. That was close.
Impressive, though. Jeez.
That's close. I knew it was around that zone there. All right, let's get to this story here. Yeah. Oh, this is a perfect transition because this is a story about flights.
Is perfect. Totally unplanned, too.
Yeah, we didn't mean to do this. It's magic on a Thursday. Anyway, this is from Jay, sent this in, so I want to give him some credit for sending me this story. Flight attendant grazed while gunfire hits a Spirit flight.
Yeah.
And it's not just because people hate Spirit, although they do.
It might as well be, but in this case, it was Haiti.
Yeah, it was Haiti who did it. A flight attendant was grazed by a bullet when a Spirit Airlines A320 was hit by gunfire as it was about to land at a Port-au-Prince Toussaint Louviers. I don't know how to say the Toussaint Louviers airport.
Port-au-Prince Toussaint Louviers.
Man, the French really smeared their stain all over that place, didn't they? They just, as French colonies go, Haiti really just got the brunt of the naming and stuff. Everything got named. They really
did, yeah.
Anyway, this happened on Monday morning. The flight originated in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and took multiple bullets piercing the fuselage. It is not clear whether the flight attendant was hit, but the injuries were reported minor. No passengers were hit. The crew did go around and headed to a nearby Santiago in the Dominican Republic for an uneventful landing. Other airlines canceled flights to Haiti on Monday, and Spirit said it's suspending all flights to the strife-torn nation. There's also some other airline reported that the entirety of their flights are canceled. Nobody can go there right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Spirit is just down. No more Spirit in the sky for a little while.
And it really could be this is the other problems. It could be a guy going, woohoo, bang, 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 and it just happened to be bad timing. Right. They don't know.
I saw the photos of the interior or video of the interior of that plane, and it's amazing that nobody was hit because it came through the big thick door, or right next to the big thick door, and then you see holes through the a couple of the overhead bins, which means they passed through the fuselage and through the outside of the bin, like really puncturing the crap out of it.
That's scary.
It is really scary, and the fact that just one person got grazed is amazing. I guess it's because there was nobody on the Spirit flight, because it's a Spirit flight.
Because it's Spirit and everybody hates them. Look at that big...
I tried Spirit once.
Look at that big mustard airplane. It's nasty.
It's so bad. And what is it, like the little words they put on the wings and the tail tips and stuff?
Yeah. Was it say on the engine?
There, or something like that. It's,
World of the Bear Fair, it says on this one. That's lame.
What does it say on the tip of that wing though? The folded up part of the wing. Can you zoom in on that?
I'm gonna zoom and enhance. Hold on.
Okay, zoom, enhance, zoom,
there we
enhance.
Go. I'm gonna go way down here. I'm gonna move it up here. I may not have the enhanced part. Oh, it's just spirit.com.
Spirit.com. But there's like another one where the tip says something like, hi there. Maybe it's on the inside of that wing tip because when you're on the plane, you look out at it.
Oh, okay. Could be. I've never been on a Spirit. I hear
I
nightmares.
took one to Vegas because it was like $69 round trip for the Bear Fair, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool. I'm going to go one day. I'm going to put a clean pair of underwear in my left pocket. I'm going to put toothpaste and toothbrush in my right pocket. I wore a jacket, or I wore a Bobax vest.
Yeah.
If you're familiar with Bobax, it's like a bazillion pockets.
Yeah.
And
I like those. I'm a fan.
And basically it was just like all I took was the things I absolutely quote unquote bare necessities and did that $69 round trip. And it was still, there were so many delays of getting on the plane, so many delays before it took off. Coming back was a pain in the butt. I swore even at that price, I would never, ever do it again.
Yeah. I like that you were your own carry-on bag, basically.
I was 100%. Yeah.
That's great.
Because even if you bring something like a little tiny sack that's going to go under the seat in front of you or above you or something like that. Basically, I had my iPad in my hand. I didn't take my CPAP on that trip. So it must have been really early on because it was before I really needed the CPAP.
Gotcha. Wow, That's wild. That makes me want to try that, using a big full jacket of stuff instead of a bag. Just want to try it. Does that mean you just had to put the full vest out on the thing and ran it through like a bag?
Yeah. Which back then you did anyway. It was
that's true.
I don't think I had TSA pre-check before that anyway. So, and I always, back then I would always take my jacket off and shoes and put them in the same bin and just walk through.
That recent trip to Santa Ana, on the way out, they made me do the belt. On the way in, no belt.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like
you don't do TSA pre-check though, right?
No, although
you don't fly enough to make that.
No, it's just not worth it. Well, I don't know. $80 a year is really not that bad. I should just do it.
$80 for 5 years. It's not even $80 a year. It's
like
$80
really?
For 5 years.
Oh, I'm doing it then. Yeah. This is dumb.
Well, it's even cheaper than you realize.
And the background check's easy, right? They just do it and you're done.
Yeah, it takes 2 minutes. Basically, like, do all the stuff online, and then whatever your next flight is, if it's Vegas in April or whatever, go to the airport half an hour early and just go and say, or you schedule your time, but schedule it for right before your next flight. Go take care of it, and you're done. It really takes 5 minutes.
What an easy, what a boring background check I have, dude. So
really,
boring.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
Like what are they gonna do? Oh, he's got one traffic ticket that happened a block from his house in 2014. That's never any others. He's never been in an accident. He's never stole anything. Never fired from a job. Although now he's a podcaster.
Listen,
Weird.
I went to jail and it still took 5 minutes to do my background check.
That's true.
That's nothing.
But you were a minor then, right? You were just.
I was a minor. I was not old enough to drink, but I was old enough to go to jail for impeding for not showing up to court for a traffic ticket, for an impeding traffic ticket.
Youth. What do you do?
Go to court, kids.
Yeah.
If you get a ticket and you don't pay for it, you got to go to court on the day they tell you.
Yeah, it turns out they don't like that when you don't show up. They're not fans.
And then they just waived it. When I did finally go to court after the half a day in jail, they waived it anyway. It was like I showed up to court. He's like, you were impeding traffic, but it's like during rush hour. It was like 5:30 on a Tuesday. I'm like, yeah. He says, yeah, no. Here you go.
Yeah, it's pretty great though.
No points, no money.
Yeah, but you did have that experience, which made you never want to go there again, right?
It really did. Yes, scared straight is what I was.
Oh, nice. Did I have a room? So I need to know this part. Was it like a holding cell with a whole bunch of hairy men sitting around, and then there was a toilet in the corner, like an actual bathroom built into the thing?
I don't remember there being a toilet in the room. Like basically, during the processing, they brought me in. I was in one room with a bunch of guys, and then they took photos and stuff and then moved me to a second room, and it was in the second room that I got a paper bag with a sandwich and an apple in it.
Yeah.
And then, but I don't remember a toilet in either of those rooms. There might have been one, but I think if somebody would have used the toilet, I would have remembered there being one.
Oh, you would have definitely.
Or if somebody would have not used the toilet, I would have remembered there not being a toilet.
Yeah, good point. Good point. All right, well, there you go.
And then from there, it was just basically took me to my own cell, and I could sit there and watch people trade their apples for cigarettes, like they're rolling them back and forth underneath the little hole that you had in the door.
Nice. Really?
Yeah.
Dude, you're going to get nudes from women who like bad boys now. What's going to happen? You're like, he was in prison? No way.
Well, then I better start drawing a tattoo right by my junk with a Sharpie so I can send him something back.
Boy, you've got a pretty face. Here, take my sandwich and apple. Yeah.
Probably not an anchor that says mom. That probably is bad optics,
no,
right?
You don't want that.
Kind of photo?
No,
okay.
You don't want that at all.
Yeah, don't do that.
Quick story here about Mattel and a big goof. Speaking of Wicked.
Sure. Speaking of Wicked,
Yeah.
Tina just folded her arms and looked at me.
Yeah, she sure did. Mattel's Wicked dolls mistakenly list adult film website on the packaging. Oh, no. What this means two things. One, they've apologized and recalled what they can, and they're reprinting. But it also means anybody lucky enough to get them now has a very expensive collectible. So congratulations to you. The fact that it's got the adult link on the packaging means that your version of this Barbie doll thing is worth a whole lot more money now. So good job.
Jeez. Way to not check. Somebody just said, I assume that this website will be wicked.com because what an easy website to get 40 years ago when URL became available, or 50 years ago or whatever.
It's very weird. Very weird. Packaging for Mattel's Wicked dolls mistakenly lists the URLs in a total entertainment site instead of the official domain for the film. Wicked, the new theatrical adaptation of the hit Broadway musical, is set to open in theaters worldwide. We know about all that. It says here, let's see, the Glinda and Elphaba. I don't know how this goes.
Elphaba.
She's the Wicked Witch of the West.
She's the
right?
Wicked Witch of the West, yeah.
My
breasts are defying gravity.
See, you know all the. I don't know any of this shit.
I know all the Wicked songs.
I don't know any Wicked stuff. It's good stuff. I mean,
sure.
No problem with it. I just haven't been exposed. Anyway, it's already on sale. Some fans have spotted a major error in the packaging. The back of the Mattel Dolls package shows wicked.com. The issue is that domain belongs to an adult entertainment site, not the film's official thing. So my guess is an artist put that in there as a holder, thinking that was perfectly fine. Or it's somebody, he's a little bit of disgruntled, little...
Former, last day on the job. They're firing me after I designed these... this action figure packaging or doll packaging. Like
the Disney guys, the animators who would put little, quick glimpse of a boob or something in a scene.
Yeah, right.
Something like that.
Was it the Little Mermaid that had the
wieners,
the little hidden penis in the castle, the underwater castle?
I have that VHS tape someplace.
Do you?
And I also have a version that they replaced it with, and it got rid of all of the suggestive stuff. 100% that stuff was put in there on purpose. There's no way it was by accident. I think Snopes calls that one real, some confirmation that somebody did that on purpose. But I have it somewhere. And it's got multiple things. It isn't just that it shows all these phallic shapes in the castle thing. There's also what looks like the prince, what's his name, behind a rock with his hand down here exposing himself. And then Ariel's looking down at his crotch and going, ah, like that.
Oh my gosh.
I'd have to find it. It's pretty great. Someone in the chat,
great.
find that image. I'll have to share it around. Anyway, so they're going to fix it. Let's see.
I'd completely forgotten that it's Elphaba, as in L. Frank Baum, the writer of Wizard of Oz.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Elphaba. By the way, so here, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
First Wizard of Oz, Dorothy bonks her head during a tornado, wakes up. Oh, I had the most wonderful dream, and you were there, and you were there, and you were there, Andy M.
Mm-hmm.
Was Oz a dream? And if so, why are there movies of Oz without Dorothy?
Oh, that's a great question, isn't it?
Yeah. Why are there books where Oz has all these other things going on if Dorothy's not involved? If no mention of Dorothy in the dream?
That's a great question. Do hardcore fans get what's the word I'm looking for? Is that a thing you guys even think about, those kind of continuity errors? You're so into it
I'd be curious.
Yeah, I'd be curious about that.
I think about stuff like that, but
I do all the time.
Yeah, Jeannie says they're the Oz books, not the Dorothy books. Then again, my question is, then people are totally gaslighting Dorothy about it all being a dream.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you silly girl. That was just a dream. I mean, I guess in the second movie, in Return to Oz, Andy M is taking her to get shock treatments and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know anything about the books or any of the origin stuff. So I wonder how, this Wicked thing is that based on, that's all new information, right? That was written for the play,
yes,
the prequelness. Yeah.
Right. That was not written by L. Frank Baum, but it was, the play was written additionally to to give you a different perspective on the Wicked Witch.
Right.
She's actually a really, really good person. Everybody else is a shit.
Yeah, everyone else sucks ass.
The wizard is a shit. Oh, all right. Well, I've got a heart that I'm going to be giving. It's a very nice heart. I'm going to be giving it to the Tin Woodsman. Woodsman, we love carrying the axe. He's carrying the axe. He's chopping the wood.
Yeah, you are going to have a yellow brick road. He is in this, right? He's the wizard in this one.
He's the wizard in this one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's a bad guy.
Well, now you're making me want to. Now you're making me want to see this Wicked.
You should. It's. I mean, if it's as good as the play is fantastic and the music is great.
Yeah.
So, if you see if the movie is as good as the play, then it'll be really, really good.
All right. Did they have the and the monkeys flying and all that?
No.
Okay.
And the movie actually shows you, like, you get a brief glimpse of Dorothy and the gang, Dorothy and the rest walking down the yellow brick road from the back, but the play doesn't talk about Dorothy at all. I think it ends with Dorothy arriving in Oz, maybe. Oh man, I don't remember how the play ended. If there was some overlap between the two, like if you got your Wicked and then a little bit of Dorothy overlap, and
sure.
Somebody maybe can tell me.
Yeah, Monica made a good point too about the books aren't musicals, obviously, but the rest of all of these are musicals. Like some people are like, I don't want to see Wicked; it's a musical. I'm like, well, Wizard of Oz was a musical.
Wizard of Oz was a musical.
I think people forget, or they just put it in a different category or something. And
totally,
Yeah.
they don't. I mean, those songs have become so ingrained in our heads. If I only had a brain, you don't think
Guild.
of it as a musical, but
yeah. I saw a Lollipop Guild in World of Warcraft the other day. Somebody had Lollipop in their
really
guild name. I thought that was great.
I only wish to welcome you to Munchkin Land.
And the guy was a dwarf. He was a little dude.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
For all I know, that's a guild full of dwarves and gnomes and goblins or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, my sister Wendy will be here. She's got a little surprise topic. I don't know what we're doing, so you're going to find out when Brian and I find out. It's a little unusual. Yeah, I'm a little nervous too, but we'll find out what's going on there right after this. Quick shout out to Icor, by the way. Happy birthday. I see he's in the chat now, and someone earlier said it's his birthday today, so we hope you're having a good one. That may happen later again. I don't know. Hey, Brian, let's play a song in the middle of the show here. What do you got?
Well, Earshot Media sent this one to me, and they sent the 4 words that just make me immediately excited about listening to the music. This is a Los Angeles power pop punk rock 5-piece. Power pop punk rock. Oh my gosh, yes. Wow. This is a band called Foreclosure, but it's spelled FOR space CLOSURE. Like as if you took the E in the first E in Foreclosure and replaced it with a space, folks.
Wow.
A space, folks.
Space.
Come on. This. And guess what? And by the way, this is from their brand new LP called Cliffside Serenades. They're about to go on tour with Junior Juggernaut. So if you like those guys, I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. Then go check them out. But the band is called Foreclosure. Here is their song. It's called One More Day.
So I really want to watch Westworld, but the only thing my partner wants to watch is goddamn Fuller House.
Eggplant, Xerxes, Crybaby, Overbite, Narwhal.
And we return. Tell me about that song one more time.
Sure, that's the band Foreclosure and a Los Angeles power pop punk rock 5-piece. Right there. That's no more room for anything else on their business cards.
Sure.
That's from their brand new album, Cliffside Serenades, and it's a song called One More Day.
Is that how you say if there's a band with 5 people, you say a 5-piece?
A 5-piece.
Okay,
Yeah.
never heard that before. So if you have 4, you can say a 4-piece, or you have 3?
You could say a 4-piece. It actually goes, it works for all the numbers.
Okay. So
Except
they're
maybe not a 1-piece.
Were the
You'd say a solo act.
Yeah, in that case, you'd say it's an anime. Let's see. It's
a 1-piece, man.
Beatles had 4. Did anyone ever call them a 4-piece? Like
they called them the Fab Four, which was shorter.
That's good enough. Yeah,
worked better for them.
Sure. Anyone checked in on them lately? We still have a healthy remaining pair.
Still Paul and Ringo still doing all right.
All right.
But hopefully they continue and us mentioning them nothing happens.
Peace and love. Peace and love. Peace
I'm
and
watching
love.
the 16th season right now of Taskmaster because I always do a binge watch as I prepare for TMS Vegas for obvious reasons.
Right.
And there's a guy on there, Sam. He's an Australian comedian, Sam something. Not Sam Waterston. Anyway, I told Tina we were looking at him, and I said, he looks like if you took all 4 Beatles and jammed them together.
Oh my Lord, I need to see this.
Sam Campbell. There we go. Let's see here. Let me find a photo of him for you.
He's like a famous comedian over there?
Yes.
Sam Campbell.
It's a great picture. All right, here you go. Let's see if this one does it. I'll put it in our Discord.
Cool. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and then the Oasis guys just for his little sprinkling.
Right.
Oh my gosh, he is like, yeah, it was like 19, just exiting the 60s, entering the 70s Beatles.
Exactly. Yes.
Amalgamation. Right. That's crazy. So he's a stand-up. Yeah, look at that. He's a stand-up. Apparently, he's a big stand-up over there.
He's a little tiny dude. So it's
man, some of these other photos of him. Yeah, he's all the Beatles.
He's all 4 Beatles.
I love this. Look at this one, chat. This is even better.
Yes, right. It's like,
does that not look like him?
There is some George Harrison in that face. There's absolutely the eyes are Paul McCartney's eyes.
Yep, 100% his eyes. I think that's like Ringo's mouth, maybe little George Hare for sure.
George Hare. Yep.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Little John Lennon in there as well. Give him a set of round glasses, and he's John Lennon.
So wait a minute, is he competing? Is he just?
He's competing. He's one of the contestants, and he is hilarious. It is such a season 16 is a really good cast. I say that every time, but there's a guy named Julian on there who. Let's see if I can find his last name. I don't know if I've seen him in anything else, but. Yeah. I freaking love him. Julian Clary.
Nice. It's the show that's on. Somebody told me they put them all up on YouTube now for free. Is that true?
Yes. Okay. You can watch all the Taskmasters on YouTube, but don't, because it might give you an idea. You might, if you watch all 3,000 tasks that have been completed, you might figure out which one I'm going to do for you.
Oh, I don't want to do that. I want to know. I'm not watching that.
Yeah, you won't. You won't know.
Okay. Won't know. All right. I like being surprised at that thing. So
yes. Yeah.
We have on the line with us somebody who gets a little intro.
Here's another Minnesota tradition that's not so easy to throw in the garbage.
She's also somebody I'm related to. She's my sister. Like 100% my sister. Not like these Koreans that we have around here, right? The half.
Or that other brother. He's only a half.
He's only a half brother. But Wendy and I share the exact DNA profile of true siblings, and
yikes!
I know it's probably
so. If you're profiling, that saved you a lot of the trouble.
We sure did. Just kidding. We love everybody. We love the diversity of our family. But it's always fun to have Wendy on. Been a couple of weeks. Wendy,
we've missed you.
Yeah, we've missed you.
Oh, I've missed you guys.
Wait, did we miss you last week?
Yeah,
we could have used you.
Yeah, I feel like it was probably good that we took a week.
Yeah. For sure.
I don't know. It's hard to say, but here's the funny thing about today.
We all needed to process and heal last week.
A little bit, for sure. I don't know that. I think I still have a big old scab that keeps bleeding, but still.
Yeah.
But Wendy, here's the thing. I was going to say. The standard disclaimer. Wendy, for those who are maybe new to this segment, she's an actual therapist, helps people all the time with real problems, and then she comes on here, slums it with us, and helps you with yours. Usually, we have an email or something like that to get things started off. But today, we're starting purely at a mystery window with Wendy's face in it. We don't know what's coming. We don't know what's up. But, Wendy, I am going to share with you something. I don't know if you can see this on Discord, but I can share with you. There you go. That's video of us, so you can see us react if you need to. All right?
Why? Okay.
You don't have to send us any, but so like there's Brian full screen, there's me full screen, there's both of us. So
while you're crying, we'll have something to look at.
Sure.
Okay, great.
Exactly.
Perfect.
All right. So let's go down whatever road you want to. Oh, wait. Sorry. Before you do. Sorry, I'm all over the place. I got a message as a follow-up I wanted to give you. Where is it? It is.
Oh, cool. Like a follow-up with somebody's.
Yeah, it was just like a separate thing that I meant to put in here. Let me just paste it in real quick, and I totally forgot last night. Here we go. So this will be a nice little start. Scott, Brienne, and Wendy, all spelled wrong. On Wendy's segment, you were all talking about Wendy's sister-in-law being at butt level in the wheelchair smelling farts. Remember that? Remember that story that you told us? Okay.
Yeah.
Says, well, my wife thinks it's the most hilarious thing ever to fart while we're out in public. One day, well, she sounds like a real catch. I'm glad you hold on to her for dear life. One
As a keeper.
One day a few years back, we were getting groceries. I hear an absolute ripper, and I turn around to see my wife looking at me with an expectant smile on her face. She failed to realize there was an older gentleman in a rascal right behind her. It was a little, those little four-wheelers.
Right at butt level.
Yep. Yeah. The mortified face told her everything as she turned around to see this man staring at her with hatred. I will never let her live it down. Her situational awareness is now stellar. Ha. Side note, you really should visit the great Minnesota get-together and also maybe a Minnesota meetup. Love the show, though. Or love the show, though. Yeah, I just thought you'd like a little follow-up on that.
Oh my gosh, that was not the energy I was ready to have coming into this.
No,
but it's a nice light appetizer for whatever hearty meal you brought.
Talk about.
Yeah.
I want to know, can you shoot me and let me know who that is? Do they come to TMS Vegas?
I don't know. I could try to find a name. I don't think
because I am not walking through the casino.
Always stand near this person if you are.
Or in front of. I'm going to walk in front of them anytime we're walking anywhere.
Anytime his wife smiles, you know what's going on with her.
Hilarious.
Well, anyway, so now that we've had our light moment, let's dive into however Wendy wants to handle the rest of today's segment.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'm not going to give full names, but I'm going to give first names of two people that inspired my response today.
All right.
And they'll know who they are and they listen. So I want to thank Jeff and I want to thank Matthew. Okay. So thank you two.
All right.
I'm stealing everything I'm talking about today from various sources. So none of this is original, obviously. But is anything original?
No,
anyway,
nothing's original.
So a couple quick thoughts. Number one is it's been a week. And one of the things that is interesting, you guys should ask your wives this. There's this thing, I think it was on BuzzFeed or something going around. And somebody on TikTok's just asking all these women, like, hey, did you have any experience that in the middle of the night on election night? Or kind of this idea of like, you didn't know who won. I went to bed not knowing because I can't. Yeah. I needed to sleep and I had a long day the next day. So
we did the same. Brian even did better. He goes to a movie with his wife, ignores all of it, goes to bed.
Good.
You were the smart one, dude. I knew a little going to bed, but I was also trying to do this. I think we were all kind of in the same boat.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, just the amount of people describing the like wake up gasping in the night or in the morning and just knowing and being, really sad about it. And I would say, there's a lot of feelings, a lot of people having their different responses. I have been happy to report that all the people I know who voted for Trump are being very quiet.
Not gloating.
For me, yeah. I don't know how they're behaving online or if they're sending racist tweets. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. But I have had friends have some direct interactions with folks who are having really terrible responses and experiences. And most of my clients, I'm telling you, if you're going to pick a week not to be a therapist, it was last week. That was not.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Not an easy week. And a big thing kept emerging. So two things emerged. So what I want to do is I want to talk about some things that apply to everybody.
Okay. And
processes we're all guilty of. We're all, because we're human, and a way through towards some light. That's my goal. That the arch of today is hope in the end. But I think there's some importance in understanding a couple things that have happened. And so I'm just going to share from my perspective what it was like sitting in my desk, right? Mm-hmm. I really should have taken the day off. That would have been smarter. But people needed me. Number one, in case anyone is wondering about the price of eggs, there was massive bird flu at a couple facilities and they had to slaughter over 1 million, 2 million birds. So when your price of eggs went up, I just want you to know there's a reason. Okay. Yeah. That was one of my clients. He's like screaming this to me. Like people think the price of eggs have anything to do with the president, stuff like that. Yeah. Anyway, so it was session after session, listening to people's various, a lot of shock, a lot of concern, folks who work for the EPA and environmental protection stuff, and people who work
Partisan
for
school.
national
Education.
security. Yeah, just lots of people one of my best friends' job was literally hanging by a thread because she helps refugees from other countries establish care and life here when they get here. So her job might be gone, stuff like that. So it's a lot of potential loss and fear and stress and not knowing, blah, blah, blah. So that was my main day. I had a couple people who didn't even seem to notice anything had happened. So there was that.
Yeah.
And then they were blissfully unaware, I guess. I'm not really sure. But another thing, and this is the one I want to focus on a little bit, is that how triggering the first time, by the way, I call him Voldemort. So that's what he'll be referred to from now on.
I like that. Yeah. Good.
So the first time Voldemort won.
We should acknowledge, by the way, just quick acknowledgement. Sorry to cut you off. But I know that there are people listening to this show who continue to listen, who have always listened, who are probably thrilled that this dude won again. We know that, okay? We know that we're not... I just want to acknowledge them. We know you're here. If you're listening, great. Maybe this will be good, or maybe it won't be for you. I don't know. But I know you're there, all right? I know you're there. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay.
All right, Wendy.
And actually, I appreciate that because that is actually who this is for, probably more than anybody.
Yeah.
If we had talked last week, I would have probably focused more on people who were sad.
Yeah.
Meaning like, hey, take care of yourself. It's okay to feel like you want to go inward. It's okay. You don't want to talk to anybody, take care of yourself, that kind of thing. I think that message got out a lot in the last week, I think, among people.
Sure.
And I would have focused on that a little bit differently and just given lots of people permission to take your time in figuring out how you feel about stuff and what you need to do going forward. And I would advise everyone to turn off the internet at their house. That's what I would have advised. Okay. So that would have been last week. This week, though, it really is. So I appreciate that, Scott, because I think, and this is very both sides because of humans, and you'll see as I get going here. But let me just start with, when Voldemort won the first time, I spent hour after hour after hour with people who had been sexually assaulted or had been in relationships with abusive or narcissistic partners.
Yeah.
Voldemort is an incredibly triggering figure for people who have been through hard things of those natures, because he was accused of those things and now has been convicted of those things. And that is terrifying to folks who have that vulnerability and that wound. So I want to just describe this first. I would love anyone listening. I don't care at this point who you voted for. That is irrelevant to me, but that you need to understand this piece about people, I think would be really valuable. Because what happens is when I share that these women, especially mostly women, are triggered by Voldemort, there is a defensiveness that comes. People have a defensiveness, right? They voted for him. They're a fan of his quote unquote policies. There's sort of this something happens inside of them. Now, if you're a big fan of Kamala and someone ripped on her, you probably have the same reaction, right? There's something that occurs in us that defends this person we're, our teammate or the person we see as our guy or gal or whatever, right? Okay. So then for folks who are really aware of this, you just think, are you a monster that you would defend someone like that who is triggering all these people? So I just want to explain a little what's happening there.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to get into how this applies to all of us. Okay. So when someone is victimized, especially as a young person, so we could take a child in any case, a child is neglected, abused in any way, sexually, physically, emotionally. What happens is your home becomes really unsafe. There is nowhere to go. You are a child. And the adults around you who are supposed to protect you or stop this from happening or believe you sometimes are the abusers, or sometimes they are defending the abusers. And they'll say things like, well, we don't want to ruin that young man's life, so we're not going to talk about that in this family, or whatever those things may be. They have created an environment where it is not safe. You will not be safe. So as a victim of any of these things, you have to learn how to survive that very core instability that adults or people aren't necessarily going to save you. And maybe a few here or there are safe, but the people who should be safe or not, right? So when something like when a convicted felon and a serial
rapist,
whatever, becomes president of the United States, and you find out, all these people voted for him, and that's how he won. And you walk around your community and you don't know who voted or who didn't, which is why you'll see online people trying to signify to each other, like white ladies wearing blue bracelets, like I'm a Democrat, even though I look like a white lady, or whatever. Like sure. That is like the signaling of I'm safe. So notice that's been a lot of the conversations of like, how do I know if I feel safe? And so that is what has happened to a lot of folks, is that when your very core sort of moral standings or belief about who should be on your team, they're violated, and the other team is like, this guy's awesome, and do not understand, don't seem to be able to conjure the compassion. In fact, just kind of make fun of people. I just want to put in there that what we're ultimately seeing is that what's become unsafe is somebody's home again. Not sure who is responsible or would help. And that may not seem super rational, because it's not. It's unconscious. It's very deep level. It's very, and when you hear people saying they're scared or they're afraid, it has a lot to do with the sort of instability that this represents to tons of marginalized people and tons of people who've been victimized. And so to come at it with, mocking somebody or thinking they're stupid for feeling that way, or he's not so bad, or, oh, he's all bluster, you'll see, he'll do great things and the price of eggs will go down. In essence, you're trying to talk to a little child in there, potentially, who believe adults, quote unquote, adults don't care, or they care more about protecting their team or money or power or whatever that thing may be. Right. Okay, so I'm hoping that can at least conjure a little compassion for folks who feel like they don't get why someone is heartbroken here or scared. And then the question is, so what's happening to, and I'm going to call him the casual Trump supporter, when you bring up, well, what about a convicted felon? That's not a problem for you. It's like, no. And you're sort of like trying to understand that. So that's been something I've tried for this last week, is just to really try to understand that.
Let me give you, can I give you a quick example of what I think I experienced with this? And this is just a small thing, and I won't even say who it is. I'll just, I don't want to be too specific here, but there's somebody in our lives who most of the time, the many decades that we've known this person, they're one of the kindest, most generous, very charity driven, always helping people in need, thinking of other people first. Like this person's actions are always out front, and he's quiet about it and isn't somebody who's bragging about it at all. Just does nice things for people, and then we hear it through somebody else and go, "Oh man, he really did that," and he sacrifices a lot for other people, right? But it's also the same human being that, when questioned about Voldemort's paying off of a porn star to keep quiet, and this is a person who considers themselves very spiritual, very, trying to walk, quote unquote, a very righteous path, that sort of thing. Their sort of defensive answer to that was, well, we don't know if that was tax money or not. And in my mind, and again, I don't want to get specific, but in our minds, we were just like, well, wait a minute, that's not the point.
Yeah.
Well, you should
point, but it is not the point.
But they would know. They of all people I know in my life should know the point, and their defensive mechanisms have made less of that to serve the other narrative they're living, which is, well, which side is anti-abortion, or which side matches up with my belief systems, or whatever, the most anyway, at least in their mind, or at least what they've told they match up with. And then they can scooch the stuff out of the way that absolutely does not match their value system, or at least their stated value system, and they let it slide. And coming from this one particular person was shocking, was like seismically shocking. We were like, could not believe it. It has forever changed the way I think about the way this person thinks. And it's not that I'm holding them to some kind of perfect standard. It's just that is not a thing they would ever say in any other context, except this case where their perceived team has won, and therefore this is all acceptable because the winning is more important than the other stuff, right?
Yes. And I'm going to show you psychologically how this works. And then you're going to see that we all do it. And we all do it in different directions and different ways. And we all think we're better than the other people doing it their way. Because you're right, that is a wild thing to ever happen. But we have a long recorded history of people's sort of the hypocrisy that just is inherent often in humanity, right? Recently, there's been a lot of sporting events that afterwards sort of coaches are a little less they're a little less willing to say, well, we did our best, and now they're saying they were robbed. This is happening sort of a little more frequently, right? And the truth is, there's always a bad call, and they are robbed, and yet that's always been the case. And this is, the newness is sort of, we're not going to do good sportsmanship sort of stuff anymore. And I get it. They're angry, right? And they lost the championship, or they lost the thing. And some of it, again, is my favorite version of this was the WNBA. So the game when the Liberty lost, the coach went off about how bad the refereeing was. And then when they won the championship, they said the refereeing was good. And then the Lynx coach was like, we were 100% robbed. And that is exactly what's happening, right? This is how humans work. So Scott, I sent you an image to put up for everybody.
Yep. All ready for this.
Put that up for me?
I'll put it up now.
Okay.
Here you go. You should see it too, right?
So
there you go.
Everyone, make this big on your screen because I'm going to need you to interact with this. So this is what's called the corn sweet effect.
Sorry about the resolution. Wendy sent me like postage stamp size JPEG. I had to blow it up.
Sorry. Okay, you could Google it too.
Lawnmower Man.
Yeah.
It's a clip from Lawnmower Man, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could Google it real quick if you need a bigger image. But generally, look at this picture, and you guys just describe quickly what you see.
I see what Brian saw earlier. What were you going to say, Brian? Go ahead.
Looks like it's an Apple AirPods case that somebody's painted the lid gray, and it's open in front of a repeating 3D background with a blue sky behind it.
Yeah, it's very
and like a Minecraft floor.
Yeah,
right.
It had a very
floor, exactly.
My original reaction was very similar. It looked like an Apple product, but the more I looked at it, given that they are two different colors, I see. Do you remember the mom used to call them? What'd you call them? Illness gum or something? Anyway, mom would,
like chiclets.
Yeah, they were basically chiclets, but she called them. She only gave them to us if we were feeling nauseous. She's like, "Oh, eat these. These are great for you." I don't know what she was thinking there. They were just peppermint, but
so it looked like those.
This looks like those. Maybe we got a licorice flavor on top, and you got your regular spearmint below.
Mint on the bottom. Yeah. Okay, perfect. All right, so hopefully whoever's hearing this now has a visual and/or really you need to see it yourself so you can do this next part. Okay, so what I want you to do is take your finger. This is why it's actually small, because your fingers aren't that big, people. But I want you to take your finger and put it horizontally right in the middle.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Oh,
so
shit.
What happened? What?
It's now one solid. It's all one solid thing.
It's all gray, the same color gray.
Yeah.
What?
It's the shadow.
Is it the blue dress or is it white? Is
exactly.
it green needle or is it? Yeah.
It's the shadow.
So it's called the corn sweet effect. And what has happened here, and the horizon makes a difference. So everybody has in their mind where the sun is coming and lighting it up, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Guess what filled in all the blanks? Well, your unconscious brain wanted to see what it's seeing, and it wants it to make sense. It's using the horizon, it's using light. What it's not seeing is accurately that those two things are the exact same color.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it fills in the blank, right?
Right.
And it does this, it's called intuitive cognition. It's just intuiting, it's guessing, and it's going to be what you expect it to be. It wants it to be what you expect it to be. So when we apply this to somebody who, like this person you described, Scott, who then rationalizes or justifies or defends, or even some people who will start to mock as their response, anyone seeing it differently than them, it has a lot to do with that they are seeing what they want to see. And when you really do lose, or when it's really clear, you're going to have more of a depressive response probably. But when you want to see something, now this is important, and I think this is true for everybody everywhere, is your brain will also give you this intuitive cognition that helps you do two things. Stay in favor with your social group that matters to you, and or keep your status within that social group. Mm-hmm. So if you think about that, my brain is going to show me the thing that protects my interests in my standing in my social group, in the values I've espoused. It really just will give you the thing to see so that you can think you're a good person. Because nobody's thinking they're a bad person here.
No.
You know that, right?
No,
Nobody's thinking that.
None of them do. Not a single person goes, "Oh, I'm terrible for what happened.
I'm the villain."
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. But if you think about, but then people are accusing you of being a bad person, because that's how it feels when you're the one who's been harmed by somebody else, and now the most powerful person you've known on Earth, which is what we love to claim, is in charge and got away with it, and nobody's safe anymore, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So their brain is like, all they're going to see is threat, because the brain is really trying to protect them from, there are perceived threats everywhere now. You know, every other person probably voted for a monster in your mind, and you're having a fear response to that. And then you're the person who voted for the monster, or the person you think's awesome, and you must be a good person. So you cannot over-identify with his faults. You have to over-identify with whatever your brain is telling you to see that justifies your social standing and or your financial standing, or whatever it is that feels protectionist.
Right.
Because in the end, we're all protectionists.
Right.
Like, our unconscious minds are just doing their job to protect us.
Which is why I wanted to make it kind of clear that this person that I was talking about earlier, this changes my perception of where they're willing to go, given the messaging they think is right. But I think they in a way, his turn on that shows him in a victim's position. He's a victim of a thing. I don't think he's willfully doing this. Like, I don't think he's going, I've got them all fooled and they think I'm a great person, and now I can vote for who I want to, and even though in the rest of my life I couldn't be more anti-sexual assault, I voted for one who did. Like, he's not thinking that way. Mm-hmm. He's thinking about it in this other way of convincing himself that this matters less because this matters more. And we all do that to some degree. You know, like what the hardest thing for me to try to tell people is, I don't vote for a team or a party. I never do. I vote for, as much as I can tell, as much information as I have, I vote for qualifications. If they're qualified somewhat for whatever it is I'm voting for, whether it's local, national, whatever, and as much as I can, character. Because you only have access to whatever you have. Those are my two priorities. So if you say, well, why didn't you vote for Clinton the second time? Because I didn't like his character. Mm-hmm. He may have been qualified, but I think he was kind of a douche and abusive and horrible. And why didn't I vote for Trump ever? There's no qualifications or it's not a part. Yeah, it's not a thing where I'm going, oh well, I'm registered. I don't care about that. I've never cared about that. And I just want people to remember that. We're not here going, oh, don't worry, our team will come back stronger than ever. That's not what I'm saying. It's never what I'm saying. I'm saying no more douchebags, and let's have some qualified people. That's it. All right. Anyway, sorry. I didn't mean to.
Okay, well, no, you're rant. Feel free. It's important. So I'm going to turn this now to something that applies to literally everybody, and it's both disheartening to hear the stats, and then it's also heartening because it's something we can work on. So there's an incredible line in Taylor Swift's music that I think we all underappreciate, and it's the line, "It's me, hi, I'm the problem, it's me."
From a great song, Anti-Hero.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
That's the one.
Truly. Yeah. Like, if we could all do that a little more, and really what we're describing there is self-awareness, right?
Yeah, right.
And here's where okay. So let's first just say what self-awareness is, okay? So it's the ability to see ourselves clearly, to understand who we are, how we see others, and how we fit into the world around us. And like really, truly, like what we bring. And a lot of that is unconscious. We don't even realize we're doing it. That's what makes self-awareness so tough, right? And there's lots of research on self-awareness. And what we find is about 10 to 15% of people, only 10 to 15% of people possess true self-awareness. That is so little when you think about that. And everyone, by the way, probably 100% of people think they are in that.
Fully self-aware. Yeah, of course.
Right, exactly. So, but it is also not as a static thing. It's going to move, right? It's dynamic. It's going to change. Your awareness will change.
What does it say when I'm 100% aware of everybody else's lack of self-awareness? Is that a
There's a
separate
different
measurement?
word for that. It's called it. Well, it's one thing about that though. A little bit. It's also just like projecting a little bit, right?
Sure.
If we're actually not self-aware, we're going to be thinking, "Oh, that's my issue," but I can't see that, and so I project it on someone else. So you might.
Yeah.
There could be a lot of things going on there, Brian. We'll have to talk about that.
I'm a deep well of
you are a deep well
of issues. Yeah.
Right. But what we know about self-awareness, and this is feels like it's missing all over the place, right? Can you imagine how it would change the world overnight, right? If suddenly, just 50% were self-aware. But what good things we know, it's linked to increased creativity, confidence, communication, self-control, better decisions. And you just do better at work. There's just endless lists of how, and when you are with someone who's self-aware, and I think sometimes self-deprecating is the way people portray some of that self-awareness. That's maybe another issue going on for them, but it is also one of the things, it's kind of why we like someone who can do that, or we're drawn to someone who isn't a know-it-all or is clueless to how they're affecting us. A perfect example is when this happened last night at my kids' band concert. This girl walks in, middle of this amazing performance. No one moves during that. That's like the rule, right? You don't move.
Mm-hmm. Right.
She comes busting down the aisle with a giant backpack and a big old coat, goes to the third row and makes 5 people stand up so she can get by and cross all the way over to the 4th seat on the far end. Like, it was the most egregious.
I hate
Tell
that.
me she had corduroy pants too, or ski pants.
She had on a, what is that from the 90s, the parachute pants. Anyway, so it was very loud. No, it was very obnoxious. And all I could think was, I'm wondering about her self-awareness, because I was going to talk about this today. And why do we all react to her? Everyone in that room is like, oh my gosh, you are breaking the rule. Mm-hmm. And we're responding to her lack of self-awareness or just, you can call it respect or whatever you want, but she just does not, you could see on her face, she didn't care. She's smiling. She's having a good day. Yeah. Anyway, but you're having other people respond to when someone is not self-aware. We don't like it. We tend to like find that problematic. And there's reasons is that your relationships don't usually go awesome if you have zero self-awareness, right? Yeah. So I want to make a quick distinction between introspection and self-awareness. So real quick, you guys take a stab at how are those two things different, and why does one have depression, anxiety as the result, and the other one has happiness as the result? Any thoughts? Introspection versus self-awareness.
Introspection versus self-awareness.
Because you get called out on self-awareness, and introspection you kind of do on your own.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Right? That's you going in. Isn't that
awareness is how other people, not how other people see you, but affect other people. Whereas introspection, it just affects yourself.
Oh, right. If you have good self-awareness, if you're self-aware, then you should have better introspection. Aren't they connected that way? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
so you would think they are, but what's fun about the research is that people who actually spend a lot of time doing introspection, they're actually less happy, more stressed, more depressed, and more anxious, feel less in control of their lives and less happy. Mm-hmm. And that's because introspection is a ruse for actual rumination and probably anxious thinking. So it would be like, it's a why question. That we don't usually answer. So like, why does no one like me? But not working to figure out because you're clueless to other people's needs, right?
Mhm.
And so some of that churning internally actually makes you more miserable. Whereas the other version of that same seemingly similar mental strategy is to see how you are impacting the world and recognize those strengths or those weaknesses. It's almost like a lighter, more open holding of this information about yourself versus going deep. It's sort of someone going inward and only finding what is already inward versus somebody who's figuring out how outward things are going because of what they bring to the table. So I'm going to have you guys actually do a little of this with me.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you some questions about your self-awareness. Okay. And questions that will prompt some thinking about it. And we want to move away from the introspection of, the darkness within and more of the, what do I do and how does it impact people? And what can I maybe do differently, right? There's some benefits to that. Okay, really quick. Do either of you have something you could share that you are self-aware of? And I don't mean self-conscious. Again, there's a different word, right? Self-conscious might be the anxious cousin to self-awareness of like, oh, I know sometimes I annoy people. And so I'm going to tell you that I am. And then you are hyper aware of don't want to be that thing or something. That's a little different. This is just self-awareness. What do you got that you already know about yourself that is helpful to be aware of? Sometimes you can't help doing it. You're going to do it anyway, but at least you're aware of it. Do you have anything that pops in your head? And if not, I'll ask some questions.
What do you got, Brian? Do you have something?
Tell me if this is even. No, this is well. All right, we'll see if this qualifies. If not, I'm in the confessional, and this doesn't leave this podcast. But
it's all right. It's not public or anything. We're just doing this for this.
This is definitely the confession.
Yeah. I feel like on days when I work out, I deserve a little bit of extra treats or fatty, like maybe not necessarily a pastry, but I don't shy away from like a piece of candy from the leftover Halloween bowl, like that I know I don't deserve it just because I went to the gym, but whatever reason I feel like I do, and I know I don't. In my head, I know I don't.
Yeah,
but I do it anyway.
I have a form of that too. I get it. That's a thing I do for sure.
Is that self-awareness or is that just a bad self-control? That's probably what it is. It's the latter.
Yeah, we have all these words with self. Your self-control is broken. No.
Yeah.
Okay,
Totally
so what
is.
you're saying is you are aware you do this thing.
I'm aware that I do it, and I'm aware that it's wrong, and that I still do it anyway.
Okay.
But I justify it in my head.
I feel like that counts.
That I deserve it.
Yeah, doesn't that count? It feels like that's a form of self-awareness.
The self-awareness is the justifying it in my head that it counts, even though it doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay. The fact that you know that's happening, like the process of the justification or is an example of self-awareness. Okay.
Woo!
I don't know if it then benefits anybody, but
it doesn't.
We're gonna keep going. All right, Scott, you got one?
Yeah, it's knowing that no matter what the situation is, whether I'm getting blood drawn at the doctor, like yesterday, or it's a show, or it's hanging out at a family get-together, whatever it is, silence will be murdered because I will not allow it to happen. This weird thing where you do this too, Wendy, by the way.
Yeah, but I'm better at it.
You are pretty good at it. You're better at asking questions.
Right.
To fill the air and making
I think you entertain, and I'm like,
Yeah.
tell me about you, and let them entertain.
Yeah, exactly. You give them the floor. I usually I feel like this nervous need to take the floor, and I know I do it, and I try to not do it sometimes. And when I don't do it, people will say, because I also have RBF, as you're aware. So if I'm not doing anything, I just look like I'm mad. I'm not. I'm just sitting there. People say, "Are you okay? Is everything okay?" Like I get that constantly if I'm just trying to test myself to see if I don't have to fill everything. So if I'm sitting around a table,
controlling yourself looks like you're taking
it looks like I'm mad, and I'm not. I'm just not doing it. So I'm very self-aware of that, and also the reaction I get when I try to curb it. It's a very weird cycle for me.
Okay.
I don't know if that counts, but you can tell us if that counts or not, I guess.
Yes, both great examples of self-awareness. I'm going to give you one more definition that's going to really help as we get into this more. I forgot to mention there's some benefits of being self-aware that you need to know. You have a better sense of yourself. You do a better job regulating your emotions and communicating your emotions to others. You have more confidence and self-esteem. look at me. I want you all to do this. This is very important.
All right.
And you deal with all sorts of things better. Okay. But you both gave great examples of this definition I really like. This is from a therapist. It says self-awareness is our ability to understand our emotions, thoughts, and beliefs and how they affect others. A self-aware person knows their strengths, weaknesses, and areas in life they need significant improvement. So when it's the opposite of a narcissist, honestly, right? When we interact with someone who has narcissistic tendencies, they can't be wrong. There is no mistake they could ever make. They will double down. They will lie. They'll go whatever ways they can do to not feel the shame that comes from having done it wrong. You can raise a kid to be that way, and sometimes that just happens, but most of the time you are modeled that it's never okay to be wrong, and your whole sense of self relies on either perfectionism or being the best or whatever it might be, right? And so the more self-aware people are, the more they need to be able to see their weaknesses. And so I'm gonna ask you some questions. I might pull up a few weaknesses.
Yeah, let's do it.
But I want everyone after this call to both think about how everything they see, their brain is trying to tell them that they're a good person and they belong. And that is not a real excuse for us being bad, but it really is what's happening in our loved ones' brains. Okay. It really is. It's happening in yours and it's happening in your loved one's brain. And that is the thing. Now, as I'm working with people, we have moved into the do I never talk to my family again stage of things. And I'm doing my best to not let that be what is the end result. Because Voldemort gets no more blood. I'm sick of it. Okay. So let me ask you some questions, though.
Go.
I was on a rant there. Here we go. Okay, so you don't have to say anything out loud. If you guys want to say something out loud, you can. Everyone else, I just want you to kind of do this
I think we've established that Scott has to. So
yeah, he's got to entertain. Okay, here we go. So here is the first question. And actually, I'm going to make you answer this, both of you. But I want you to take a second and just scan your bodies, like let it be really authentic how you answer rather than just jump to it and answer here. Okay, so here's the question. How am I feeling right now?
I am the underlying topic. You even just saying the word narcissist sets me off a little bit. So I'm actually squeezing like a little nervous blue toy here. This little clay guy.
Wow. Yeah.
So, and I think I'm doing that.
Twice the size when you picked
I know.
Up.
No, can you believe it? I almost tore him right in half. Who knows what's in here?
Okay.
But yeah, there's like there's a little bit of, a little anxious.
Okay.
I think.
Now, one step further. Why are you feeling a little anxious? Or what is causing me to feel this way?
I have some catastrophizing in my own head that I'm trying to wrangle, I think. And I've been doing it not just since election night. Really, this stuff started in earnest in 2016.
Yeah.
And that, the division everybody's feeling started then, I guess. So I'm not alone in this, and I don't think I am. But last week I had a real a moment of clarity that I've talked about on some other stuff on my diary show. But basically, the moment of clarity was not that I'm part of the problem, but I'm part of the system that is part of the problem. And that system is this false, this mirage that what we hop onto Twitter and say makes any difference. It doesn't. What it does is makes money for, tech CEOs who own these platforms, who make money off of that sort of stuff because conflict, drama, and freak out, it creates more engagement than positivity or happiness or good times. And it hit me more than ever. I think I've always sort of known this was true, but have resisted it. But it just hit me more than ever, even with a somewhat decent-sized platform that we have over somebody who doesn't have shows or doesn't have these public-facing things. It's just a mirage. It's not real. You're just there adding to a anger soup that is just angry soup, and you're not really turning. Nobody turns based on what I say. I'm not going to go there and go, oh, what a travesty, and then some guy who voted for Trump's going to go, oh, makes a real point there about this travesty. And like, no one's doing that. It's an absolute waste of my time, and it's a waste of my energy. And it clicked with me more than ever. I kind of always knew this, but just had this moment of like, why are you doing this? You're done doing this. This is dumb. We're not doing this again. And so I'm just done. I'm done with that. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm just like out of it. And I realized, part of me, I'm saying this in a hopeful way because I guess I don't really know this to be true, but this is what people say to feel better about it, which goes to your whole point, right? What do we tell ourselves? But I'm telling myself that looking inwardly to my family, my kids, and now their kids, my wife, my extended family, my mom, you, my sisters, my brother, except I know how one voted. Anyway, all of that, what I'm doing on the ground with those people is the only difference I have, is the only power I have to make a difference. In other words, they're the people that I know, that I trust, that we have this back and forth with, that I can actually influence in a real meaningful flesh and blood way, is the only true influence I have. I don't have another one. I just don't. And I used to try to convince myself that I did, or that everybody does. And those platforms, that's their job, is to convince you that you do. I've got this theory that if you sign up for, it doesn't matter what, just some social media account, let's say Facebook. I sign up today as a brand new user, never had any history. There's no algorithm around what I like. I'm a brand new human being that just signed up for the first time ever. Blank slate. You will get that day a mix of things in the algorithm. And some of them are going to be inciting and anger inducing. And you may even block a few of those at first, and the algorithm will go, okay, well, that's cool. We'll just give you some of these cat pictures you like. But they're still going to find a way to slide that stuff in. Why? Because they need you to be engaged in stuff you have no control over. You need to feel like you're involved, but you're not. But you think you are, but you're not. I'm telling you, it's a big fat lie. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's just not true. What I said in 2016 when, they first elected him affected no one. But I sure wasted 30 seconds doing it. And then compound all that and all the time you wait. It's just a freaking waste. So this week has been a lot of that for me, and a lot of my sort of emotions and feelings, and what's keeping me up at night is just coming to grips with this particular realization that that's just a lot of wasted energy and time and emotional stuff, because what's the point? I'm better off. Yeah. You know what? If I'm going to sit on, it doesn't matter what the platform, if I'm going to sit on Threads all day and say a bunch of stuff that I'm mad about, it would be better if I just sent Wendy a quick text and said, oh, what a week. And you'd be like, yeah, right? That sucks. Well, at least Mom's doing okay this week. If you talk to her, no, I probably should call. You know what I mean? That's meaningful. That's like rubber meets the road life. This other stuff is a mirage.
You may not get perfect 100% resolution to it, but you are going to get a different thing than, I'm angry too. Oh my God, I'm so angry, and this, and don't forget about this.
Yeah.
And all that just does more for Threads than it does for you.
Yeah.
It does. And the illusion of community is so tempting. We are as lonely as we've ever been. But the illusion is that it takes seconds for me to find people who think just like me and to think I'm part of that club. I mean, the social interest here is, that's what's been monetized and algorithmized. And so one thing, I was just going to tell you a brief story. Abe's had a very difficult time with this. And we had a phone call, and he just wanted to, and these are his words. He said, I don't understand why when he made fun of a disabled reporter, it didn't end there.
Yeah.
How has this gone 1 second past that moment? Because the world in which we raised him in, that would never have happened, right? And no one else could probably pull it off, right?
I mean, even 4 years before that, a guy ended his campaign because of the ridicule of, we're going to take Zerno, we're going to take,
Oh, remember Dean?
Howard
Dean.
Yeah.
Howard Dean.
Yeah.
So we talked about this very concept, Scott, you just shared, which is you want to do something as the human condition. There is, what is anger for? What is a need for change? All of this is an energy to do something. I think the unfortunate thing is, like you're saying, that energy gets wasted into a void that just creates more divisiveness and more anger. It doesn't have resolution built within it. It doesn't have an actual action that does anything. So you have people who then take that need, start to act, sign up to run for local elections or whatever they did. So Abe and I could not figure out anything to do that quickly. So we decided that both of us had to do something nice for someone we know voted for Trump. Talk about the hardest thing in the world. And mine was so stupid, and it's embarrassing to even share this, but I was walking up the street with my dog. Somebody's recycling had blown all over the street. And so in the middle of the street between these two houses that have nothing but Trump signs up in their yard, I just cleaned up the garbage off their street. It took forever because it had rained and they were stuck. And I was scraping with my dog in the middle of the road, cursing everyone. I was so mad, but there was something about doing something. And Abe's like, so you're a better person? I'm like, I am, damn it. I'm a better person. But it was silly. But what it ultimately was something, right? Or I could go yell in the void, or I could, that sounds so lame. And then he went off and tried to just be really kind to somebody at school, like it was just trying to take the opposite approach, what comes pretty naturally to a lot of us when anger hits. And it's interesting. And anger is not bad. Anger is just an action, like do something, right? And so maybe it's something small, something little. But when you...
But it gives the possibility that they're going to turn around and maybe do something that they wouldn't normally do and do something nice for somebody else. Like there's, there's that hope that it's like, I mean, it's not why you do it, but it could be an end result of what.
It's like a pay it forward kind of thing. Just naturally.
A little bit. Right. And just human interaction as we watch other people do kind things, we feel more bonded, even if they're strangers holding a door for one another. Or any act of kindness. We have chemicals released in everyone's brain that makes us feel closer. That's the opposite of what going on the internet will do. You do not get the brain chemistry to feel closer. You get the one that, unless you get right in your tribe and scream in your echo chamber, right? And so applying this to self-awareness, is this you? I'm not asking you guys, but is this you in this moment right now? Or are you self-aware enough to know I need something different? Let me figure out what that need might be. None of us are perfect at this. It's always a growing thing to figure out your self-awareness. But really, if we could just switch it out to self-care, if you knew what you actually needed, you could do that thing. I have a client who's just like, I feel a calling now to do something different with my life because of this election. And that is action. Whoa, that's a big one. Other people might just be like, I need to watch the British Bake Off and drink hot chocolate for 4 more nights. And then we'll see where I'm at. And all of that is using your self-awareness, knowing yourself, knowing maybe your weaknesses. Because that's another piece of this. When you ask somebody, we're out of time, so I'm not going to do all the, have you answer the questions, but let me just read the other ones that are good.
Sure.
What would other people say they love about me? Like, that is a way to understand some of your strengths you maybe aren't fully aware of. Another one is, what are my strengths or what are my weaknesses? Like actually reflecting on some limitations can help balance you out. What drains me? What invigorates me? What do I need right now? What's one thing about my past that I would want to heal? Is there something I want to do? Why or why not? How do I treat other people who can't do anything for me? So that's your character question.
Yeah.
Are there behaviors I exhibit I don't align with my current values and beliefs? Yeah, that's all of us. How many times are we like, I shouldn't have, Brian and his candy, or, I wrote something on Facebook, or I said this thing to a friend, or, there are things that don't align with your values and your system will tell you. Are my behaviors self-sabotaging? How do I express my emotions? Do I bottle up? Do I lash out? What's preventing me from achieving success? I mean, there's so many, but really, what motivates you? Why are you defensive? Do you ever feel inferior or unworthy? If you are always running from feeling bad or sort of looking at your stuff, you're going to then behave super unconsciously, which is why we get that 10 to 15% number, right? Not an easy thing to do. Do we need to all do a little better at this? Absolutely. So I want to challenge everybody. There's your homework, friends. I haven't given homework in a while.
No, it's been a bit.
This is your homework.
Yeah.
This is your homework. I want you to, I'm going to give you the link to these questions.
Okay. Please do.
Stick them in.
Share that.
It's 20 questions can boost your self-awareness. I'll give it to you, but go through them if that's helpful for you. And figure out some stuff. This is a dynamic value added. You can gain these skills. This is not, you are or you are not self-aware. You're probably more self-aware about certain things or not. But I want to challenge everyone to just up it a little bit. Answer some of these questions. Have a conversation. One of the things I read as I was thinking about this was have a dinner party where everyone gives you feedback. Can you imagine?
Oh my gosh, dude.
Make your own
Don't
roast.
do that.
Your own
roast.
roast. Oh, that's a terrible idea. Oh.
It'd be amazing, right? You'd have to have some serious like ego strength to handle that, I think. But again, like maybe a little of that. Like ask. I had a client once who could not get a girl to get anywhere near him, and he'd get a bunch of first dates and then they would all go south and he couldn't figure out why. So I made him do this. I had him ask 4 people who'd known him a long time.
I thought you were going to say that he like sent out a thanks for going out on date. Could you answer these 4 questions about the time you had?
I wish. No, I respect those girls too much. But no, it was, hey, give some feedback to this guy about how you see him as a dater, because they'd been double dating with him, or his mom had known him a long time, and 4 letters came. All 4 letters said the exact same thing. You talk too much about yourself because you're insecure and you're trying to prove that you'd be a good partner. This was a cartoonist, by the way. He was an artist. Oh, wow. And he was like, you're afraid they won't think you can make any money. And so you're bragging, and it's the biggest turnoff. And he had no idea. He had no idea. I didn't know. I hadn't gone on a date with him. I don't know. So finally we find out this thing, and it becomes part of his awareness. I'm not kidding you. A week later, he got a date. I got a text at midnight. He's like, she kissed me and wants to go out again. So I'm telling you, self-awareness, it really, really will benefit you. Right. So I don't recommend the roast party, but it would be fun.
Yeah, I could imagine there's some, there's stuff to be gleaned from such an experience, but I don't think I could do it.
But I would love if everyone would just like if we do homework the right way, come back with one insight, one thing you figured out about yourself. It'd be fun to compile a list.
Yeah, and I put this link in the chat room. I'll also put it on our Discord today, so you guys can, at home, who maybe missed the live show, you can check that link out as well. Thank you. Actually, 9 of 12 put it in the therapy show folder. But hey, if you guys don't mind, stick it in the TMS one. That way I won't forget. The TMS General Group. That would be wonderful. Wendy, it's a pleasure talking to you as always.
It is a pleasure. Thank you for the full hour. That was long.
It was a nice long one today, but an important one. We needed to do it. Yeah. And next week, hopefully we get some feedback. We can talk about some of that, and as well as anything new that crops up. In the meantime, I hope you have a fantastic one, and we'll see you then. Bye now. I think it's finally getting cold there too. I meant to ask her about the weather because
we did not get your snow that you were supposed to send us. It's
weird.
Still green out. I can see grass everywhere, and high of 58 degrees today is what we're expecting.
It did warm up here too. I didn't expect it. It was really windy and gross last night. I thought we were getting another horrible storm, and now today it's like a high of 55, and I don't know what's going on. Weather, man. How does it work? Mm-hmm. We should ask a weatherman.
Ask an ICP.
There you go. Quick note about shows coming up, and then we'll get out of here. Coverville today, noon, twitch.tv/Coverville.
Tim Rice.
That's right. Check that out.
Music of Aladdin, bunch of musicals, and a James Bond theme, and more.
Yeah. That dude is the most important thing that happened to Disney in the 90s.
Really was, yeah.
Without him, I don't think you have... Like, there are a lot of great stuff happened after him and during him that were also there, but it was like a whole new way of doing musicals, and he killed it. He's awesome. Core also at noon today on the YouTube channel. That'll be about an hour, a little less than an hour from now. Got a lot to talk about there. TMS Friday tomorrow for our patrons. That'll be in the Discord. If you're a patron, you'll automatically have access to it. I'm trying to improve apparently the audio quality sucks for mobile users in there, and I'm trying to figure out if there's a way to supersede it, but nothing yet. Soon though, we'll have an answer to that soon.
Yeah, and Monica as a guest tomorrow with horror recommendations from her, and even a little bit of horror trivia with her and Scott.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So check that out. That's our TMS Friday episode, only for our patrons. Patreon.com/TMS for that. Play Retro also tomorrow, 1:30. We're talking about Donkey Kong Country, and Film Sack this weekend is all about the film Blue Steel.
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis.
That's right.
As the cop, if I remember correctly.
She's the Blue Man Group of this movie, and Blue Steel everywhere. No, I don't know. I've never seen it, but it's a Catherine Bigelow movie, and I always like her movies. But we'll see if that holds up for 1990-ish. Catherine
I saw
Bigelow.
it back when it came out, and all I remember is her as a cop. That's
Nice.
it.
That's it. I don't remember. I haven't seen it, so I have no knowledge of this. But we're all going to find out together on FilmSack this weekend, filmsack.com. That's it for us. Frogpants.com/TMS for all our stuff. Brian, let's leave him with a little tune.
A tune, a request. This one's going out to Jeremy. Jeremy says, this is for my wife, Sarah, for her 35th birthday. Love the show.
35th.
Short and sweet. 35th.
That gives you this.
Let's party.
You got 5 years before we have to change that.
Yes, right, exactly. All Jeremy said is Sound of Music metal cover. So a metal cover of something from the Sound of Music. This is about as good as I could get from that. This is I love this. This is from an album. Oh, I don't even know what album it came from because that field is blank, but it's a cover of Edelweiss from the Sound of Music, covered by a band called Masanori Mitsumi. Sorry, Masanori Itsumi. There's no second M. Masanori Itsumi. And it's got some screaming guitars doing Edelweiss, Edelweiss, which was not a Tim Rice musical, by the way.
It was not.
Here you go. Here is Masano Itsumi and a cover of Edelweiss.
Whoops.
Oh, looks like someone just got their ears caught in the audio cookie jar. It's okay. You can have another and another after that at frogpants.com.
You guys sound kind of sparkly.
Oh, classic.